Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 43rd and the 44th verses of the 14th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the last two verses of this chapter. This chapter is entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. The 43rd verse, Apisit Paryabhunktasthvam Sambhojan Vruddhabalakan Jugupsitam Karma Kinchit Kritavan Nayad Akshamam. The meaning of this verse is, have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? Have you left them and taken your meals alone? Have you committed some unpardonable mistake which is to be considered abominable? This question itself indicates how very exalted was the Vedic culture. That the consideration always for a person before he takes his food, especially lunch, is that he feeds all those who are deserving to be fed by a grihastha. This is called grihastha dharma. In the Vedic society, the four spiritual orders, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, out of these four orders, the grihastha has got certain duties which is absolutely essential to be carried out by the grihastha for the upkeep of the other three spiritual orders. A brahmachari goes and begs from householders. A vanaprastha, he also, of course, a vanaprastha does not really beg from a grihastha, but a vanaprastha may beg from a grihastha if he cannot get anything in the forest in terms of fruits, roots, berries, or something edible like that in nature. And a sannyasi, of course, he travels from door to door to enlighten people, but in the pretext of begging, he tries to approach householders to enlighten them spiritually. So, for his subsistence, he may take a little, some bare minimum bhiksha, some food. So, grihastha dharma is very, very, very important for upkeep of the society, for the spiritual upkeep of the society. So, Yudhishthira is asking Arjuna that have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? So Prabhupada explains in the purport, it is the duty of a householder to feed first of all the children, the old members of the family, the brahmanas and the invalids. Such a wonderful culture it is, the Vedic culture. Yeah. The duty of the householder to feed these four categories of persons. Who are they? The children, the old members of the family, the elderly people, the brahmanas and the invalids. The Brahmanas don't work for earning money or for their own maintenance. They don't work. They just give spiritual guidance to the entire society, rest of the society, after themselves becoming well versed in the scriptural knowledge. So they give free consultation to anybody in any subject matter, free of charge. And for the service they give to the society, they are maintained by the other members of the society, especially householders. So householders, they share what they have with Brahmanas. And the invalids, due to some reason somebody is not able to work and earn money or get their livelihood, then they are maintained by the others who are capable of earning and generating wealth. Those able-bodied persons should maintain the invalids. This is the culture. So, Prabhupada says further, besides that, an ideal householder is required to call for any unknown hungry man to come and dine before he himself goes to take his meals. Any householder, before he takes his meals, he should go out of his house. After having fed all these people, children, old members of the family, the Brahmanas and the invalids, after having fed them, before he takes his own meals, he goes out and calls 3 times, is there anybody hungry who needs food? Anyone. They can come and actually they will be fed first. Before the Grahastha himself takes his meals, he will feed them. If any unknown hungry man, they won't even ask, who are you? No questions asked. You are hungry at lunchtime, please take prasadam. This is the culture. This is the Shastric injunction. So, a Grahastha, a householder, is required to call for such a hungry man thrice on the road. In fact, I have heard this, that even now in some provinces, there are people who follow this injunction. I know of a certain gentleman who said he was traveling in Karnataka, in the South Kannada district. He was going from one place to another place by his car, and while he was passing through one particular village, it was about lunchtime, say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and his car was stopped by a gentleman of the village. And he stopped the car and he was curious, why did the gentleman stop his car? So the gentleman said, I am from this village. I stopped you to inquire from you, have you had your lunch? So this person in the car said, no, I have not had my lunch. Please come to my house for lunch. He invited. So this is Grahastha Dharma. So then that person in the car who was traveling, who was a traveler, he was very pleased and he went to that gentleman's house of the village and took his meals. So formerly there were no hotels, there were no restaurants. Either people would go to a temple which had the arrangement of feeding any visitors at lunchtime. Even now if you go to Udupi temple, you will get you'll get lunch at lunchtime. Or if you go to ISKCON Bangalore temple, you can get lunch at lunchtime. So like this, there are still some temples even in North India, even in South India, even in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, in Bengal, in Bihar, in Orissa. There are temples which feed people who are visitors in the afternoon at lunchtime. And sometimes the householders will, to a limited extent, they may host a person who is a visitor or traveler, or a person who has no arrangement for cooking his food, they may host such a person and feed him. So this is what is explained by Prabhupada here. The neglect of this prescribed duty of a householder, especially in the matter of the old men and children, is unpardonable. It is considered as a violation of the Vedic injunction for a householder who does not feed such deserving people. So Yudhishthira's question to Arjuna is, did you refuse to feed somebody who was worthy of being fed? As a grahastha dharma, you didn't do your duty, because of which you are dejected. The 44th verse, the last verse. Kachit preshthat tamenatha hridayena bandhuna shunyosmi rahito nityam manyasete anyatha naruk. The meaning of this verse is, or is it that you're feeling empty for all time because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? O my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for your becoming so dejected. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, all the inquisitiveness of Maharaj Yudhishthira about the world situation was already conjunctured by Maharaj Yudhishthira on the basis of Lord Krishna's disappearance from the vision of the world. And this was now disclosed by him because of the acute dejection of Arjuna, which could not have been possible otherwise. So even though he was doubtful about it, he was obliged to inquire frankly from Arjuna on the basis of Sri Narada's indication. If you recollect, in the previous chapter, Dhritarashtra quits home. It was indicated by Narada to Yudhishthira that you Pandavas, you remain on the earth as long as Krishna is on the earth. And after Krishna's departure, you also may leave this world. So, Krishna's departure was hinted by Narada when Yudhishthira had inquired from Narada about Dhritarashtra's quitting home. So, this was in the back of the mind of Yudhishthira. So, he sent Arjuna after that to inquire from Krishna what is the future program of Krishna. And Arjuna did not return for 7 months. So Yudhishthira became very anxious whether Krishna has departed from this world, because of which so many bad omens were being seen by Yudhishthira. And those were described in the beginning of this chapter. So now Yudhishthira is directly inquiring from Arjuna, are you feeling so dejected because you have lost your most intimate friend Lord Krishna, because Krishna has departed for the spiritual world. Krishna is no longer on this earth planet. So Yudhishthira is even concluding, I can think of no other reason for your becoming so dejected. And it will turn out in the next chapter, it will be described how Arjuna replies to all these questions with one answer to begin with, and later on he recollects how he is feeling separation from Krishna because Krishna has departed for the spiritual abode, after winding up his pastimes. So that is what Arjuna is going to reply. But Yudhishthira has already figured out, by Arjuna not answering in the affirmative for any of the other reasons for Arjuna's dejection. He is denied, I am not dejected because of all the other reasons that Yudhishthira thought could be the reason for Arjuna's dejection. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.